Hello, and welcome to this HelloID provisioning product release video for March 2021. HelloID provisioning is a 100% born in the cloud, easy to configure and maintain user provisioning solution. It helps organizations to fully automate the user lifecycle management in the network by connecting the HR or SIS as a source system. Every change in this source is detected and processed into the network. No more worries about stale user accounts, accumulation of licenses or access rights, manual user management, or compliancy issues. Please note that in this video, we will only show the new functionalities for the March 2021 release. Please go to docs.helloid.com or our YouTube channel for more videos. Let's get started. In this video, we'd like to start with a PowerPoint presentation and then demo the new functionalities for the March 2021 release. We have 3 new items in this release. First, source snapshot logging. With this feature, we made a big change in the UI of source systems, which is based on the same layout as we are using in the target system screen. We'll also introduce the ability to view stack driver information of a specific system in HelloID, so it will no longer be needed to go into the stack driver itself for troubleshooting various source imports. Secondly, we'd like to introduce the option to update the account reference attribute, a small improvement which we couldn't do before. With this new feature, we have created the possibility to create the account reference as being used by the entitlement during the update event. Thirdly, trigger account update when in condition is changed. Currently, an update event was only triggered in case a person was changed, which was related to the source data of a person attribute or contract attribute on the person, which has been modified. With this release, we also trigger the update event when enforcing the business rules and in case the in-condition parameter for a person is changed based on the contract data that's being used for the enforcement. Let's show you how these new features work in detail. The first item we'd like to show you is the new source snapshot logging. As you can see, this screen looks a little different than before. We've changed it since this release, and we have modeled it in the same way as we did for target systems. We now have the source systems being displayed as system tiles, and we move the general configuration options to the right-hand side of the screen. All the other information about the snapshot is now placed on a new menu item, which can be found underneath the source system called Snapshots, in which you can find the general information about snapshots by selecting one of them. The snapshots listed over here are the snapshots created by HelloID, and when you select a snapshot, you will see all of its related information. Here you have the general information, which was located in the center of the screen before. And there is also a new tab on top that contains the logging. Here you will find loggings about the snapshot that have been made. Previously, this was only available by using the stack driver backend, but it's now available from this logging tab, so you don't have to go to the stack driver anymore for your source system logging. You can see there are some new icons located on the snapshots, which will present the status, whether it failed or was successful. There is also an icon which represents blocked, snapshots which have exceeded one or more of the configured threshold limits. And there is a yellow check mark which will indicate that a snapshot was successful, but for some systems it can be using old data due to an unsuccessful import of the system. Secondly, we introduced the ability to update the account reference in case of an account update on a PowerShell target connector. By default, when an account gets created, you have to send the account reference value back into HelloID, which will be stored to the entitlement that's being granted. Previously, this was the only place to store the account reference value, and in all the other events, it wasn't updated. What we have introduced in the account update event is that you now have the ability to send a different account reference value back to HelloID during the update event, which will only be changed or updated as it's being presented in the response sendback to HelloID. Once it has been updated, the new value can be used directly in the other actions as well. So, for example, if you use the SAM account name as account reference value, and a person name change occurs for a specific person, this will be updated by HelloID and will also be available as a new reference value in other events. The last feature for this release is that we're introducing the account update event being triggered in case the in-condition parameter for a person is changed during the enforcement of the business rules. Previously, the account update event would only be triggered when the source data for a person has been changed. But with this release, we also trigger this update event in general when the in condition for a person related to this rule has been changed. For example, I have a person called John Doe who is in scope of this business rule. And as you can see, this business rule is only related to a contract having a department of administration. Now, when we add another department to this condition, let's say development, and we save this business rule, previously nothing would occur to the account. But if we run a new evaluation over this changed business rule, you can see that the person is now also being listed as an update, and this update event is triggered without any changes in the source data coming from the HR system. Please be aware this will trigger a general account update event, which can cause an update on the related fields as configured in your target mapping. With this feature comes another small improvement, which is located in the Blocked Actions summary on the Blocked Actions screen. You will find a status indicator of the processing state on the batch as it's being approved. In case there are a lot of blocked items, for example, when you have 1,000 blocked entitlements and you will approve the entire batch, this line would disappear. Now it will stay listed in here and will provide you with a status overview about the progress of the approved batch. A small change that was not listed in this presentation has been added to our Active Directory Target connector. When you're using the Active Directory Target connector with the Exchange Hybrid integration setup in place, there was a small issue specifying the remote routing address from a target mapping. This issue has been resolved by the addition to configure the remote routing address on the interface of the connector itself. With this option configured, this value will be used as the domain suffix for your remote routing address inside your provisioning process for Active Directory accounts. Thank you so much for watching. Please let us know if you have any additional questions. You can post your question in YouTube or send it to isupport@toolsforever.com. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel to receive frequent updates about improvements and changes in HelloID. Have a wonderful day.